Hi there. So here's just a few quick thoughts on the recent Apple event. Now, the device I was mainly interested in common, I suspect, with most people, was the new iPhone, the iPhone 13. I'm actually on the upgrade program, so getting a new iPhone was effectively given. But in fact, I'm looking forward to it. I think there are sufficient improvements and additions to the iPhone to make it worthwhile continuing on the upgrade program. Um, of course, given that the iPhone is a very mature product, you're not going to be getting any major changes to it at this stage. They're bound to be fairly incremental changes from year to year, but I still think that the changes, the improvements they made to the camera, to the display, are worth keeping on with the upgrade program for the moment. I went for the 13 Pro. I currently have a 12 Pro. I was thinking maybe I'd have to go for the 13 Pro Max to get all the camera improvements, but I was pleased to see that this year, unlike with the 12, the camera features are the same on both the Pro and the Pro Max. So given that I don't want that bigger size, I find the size of the Pro just perfect. I went with that. So I'm very happy that I won't miss out on any of the new camera features. Now, the new features, I'm particularly keen on the new video features. The what's it called? Cinematic display, cinematic movie. I can't remember what it's called. The one where you've got what they call rack focusing, cinematic mode, I think it's called. That looks really interesting. I made sure that I got the 256 gigabyte storage one because it turns out that if you get the 128, you cannot record 4K 30 frames per second with ProRes. You only get 1080p 30 frames. I wanted the 4K. I'm not sure if a lot of people may not be aware of that. It's slightly in the small print, but I was aware of that. So I normally don't get 256. I find 128 is enough, but given that I do want to use it for shooting more video in 4K with ProRes, I needed the extra storage. I couldn't afford to go to the 512 and certainly not the 1 terabyte, but I don't need that. The sort of videos I take, like this one, for example, are not that long. So once I've taken them, I can offload them. It's not going to be an issue. 256 will be ample, I think. Now, the new display, the ProMotion display, as they call it, with 120 Hertz, I think that's useful. I have that on my M1 iPad Pro, and you do notice how beautifully smooth the scrolling is and so on. And of course, this is adaptive. It will only go to 120 Hertz as required and will do less than that when needed so as to preserve battery life. The Pro Max, of course, gives you a bigger battery, but to be honest, these days the battery life on iPhones is so good that it's not really an issue anymore. Unless you're really using it non-stop throughout the day, the battery lasts all day on a single charge quite easily. So I didn't really need the extra battery that you get with the Pro Max. Of the other things announced, the iPad, well, I'm not interested at all in the basic iPad, but now the iPad mini, I'm a little torn here. I've got, of course, the M1 iPad Pro. I did a review of that. But do I need the mini? I'm very tempted by it because it's certainly, of the devices that were announced, it's probably the one that's been given the best and the biggest improvements. And it does look now quite a compelling device again. It's a long time since I bought an iPad mini. But the latest one, I think it's version 6, does look very attractive, I must admit. The fact that it now supports the second generation iPad Pencil, it has a no home button, it has a bigger display, and a better display. It has also the new A15 Bionic chip, which is in the iPhone as well. Yeah, I'm very tempted by that. And it's not overly expensive if I go. I don't need 5G, not at all. I have 5G on my phone, so I could use that as a hotspot if necessary. And I don't need more than 64 gigabyte for what I'll be doing with it. So I am tempted by that. The new watch, not at all. I have a Series 6, which I'm perfectly happy with. As far as I could see, there was no real significant improvements or additions in Series 7. The rumoured redesign didn't materialise. That rumour turned out to be inaccurate. Could be that they, for various reasons, have had to put it off because it is noticeable that the watch is not actually available yet. It's been announced. The phone and the iPad mini are. So definitely not interested in the Series 7. I'll be looking next year to the Series 8, which perhaps will be worth upgrading to. So all in all, I enjoyed the event. I think that these pre-recorded events that Apple does now are a vast improvement on the live ones. Most people seem to agree with that they're so well done. Of course, Apple has the money to get them done as professionally as possible, and they're very slick. You get all the information you need with no waffle, no whooping and hollering from the audience, which I don't miss, and therefore they're shorter. So I always like watching them, and I'm looking forward to it. It's almost certain that there'll be another one this autumn, as we say here in the UK, presumably to announce the new MacBook Pros, but we'll have to see. So those are my thoughts on the latest event.